Hi. It's Thursday, September 2nd. 11:41 a.m. I woke up not my best today. I'm just a little under the weather. I think I might have caught what my niece had. She had like cold, and she got tested for COVID, and it was negative. So I know I'm not. It's been a while that I don't remember the last time I was sick. And but last night I had like the itchiness and the runny nose, and I was like, oh, and I emailed my friend acquaintance that I might not be able to make it this morning depending on how I wake up, because I took medicine last night and then I was fine. I felt okay. I still felt like the itchiness. And I was hoping that he would get it this morning, because we were planning on meeting here in the Mission, and he's gonna show me, I guess it's an alley or something, murals, and so he did get my email, and I emailed him again this morning, because he emailed, how are you feeling? I think I was in and out of sleep. Sorry, long story long. Clearly I didn't go. But we had this lovely conversation over the phone. He's so funny. And in that conversation, I had wanted to confess to him. I wanted to confess to him. One, that I looked him up, and I listened to his interview with it's not Plutonian, it's Pluto something. Plutopia. So I'll include that interview link. I don't even know why I can say Plutopia. I'm hoping I can, but it's his interview. So I told him that I listened to that interview over the weekend, and the awareness, right, that he's this translator, and my throat's hurting, and me wanting more information about that. And then so he's sharing with me his thoughts, and I'm appreciating every moment, because I'm learning more about how he's viewing the world and his experiences, and just trying to see how he fits into what is happening to me, right? Because I mentioned that I meditated yesterday, and I spoke it out into existence, like, you know, is he the missing piece that I'm needing in this moment? And then me seeing the wave, so I kind of took it as an intuitive yes, right? I figured the universe will blow it up if he's not supposed to be in my path. And so I was preparing to tell him today when we were supposed to meet, but clearly I didn't have it. But we had a great conversation over the phone, that I was going to tell him, one, that I meditated about him, not in this order, but two, if I can use his name in my chapters of him, and include links for his books and stuff like that. And three, that I had said I wasn't going to look him up because I wanted it to just unfold in just our interactions, but then I ended up looking him up and then realizing some of the other stuff that he did. What else did I confess to him? I went to confession today. I went to confession, and he listened. And he told me how many Hail Marys I needed to say. But we had this really great conversation, and then I asked him, and I wanted to get his perspective on the birth chart, because that's what's been like pressing on me more, of just how to create this program where I'm incorporating a birth chart. But then he expanded my awareness on, like, I had heard of the Chinese zodiac. Is it zodiac? I don't. It's just the Chinese way of. I think it's the Chinese zodiac. And I don't think he ever answered my question. I asked him what the difference and similarity. We were talking about a lot of stuff. my thing initially was, how can I translate this information and use it as a tool? But then he brought up a really great point, and that I think that's why, one of the many reasons why he's on my path, right? To shed light on stuff that I don't know. And he made a good point about if I were to look at it as a tool, I'm stripping away the essence of it, and basically and putting it into that. I liked how he visualized it for me, spirituality marketplace, right, where you just pick and choose certain things. And he's like, but that takes it away from the ultimate essence of being one with creator, being one with source, and then also being a part. Like there's, and he explained a part of what I was a little confused with certain parts of his book as I was hearing it, but clearly because I'm not auditorily strong, I need a combination of that and visual. So I told him I had heard his book. I purchased the audio as I was driving back, but I was looking forward to actually reading it. And then I said, and I wanted to print it out with the soft copy that he sent me, and then write on it, because I tend to be a messy reader, where I'm underlining and writing and asking questions. And then, so I said, so I need to read it and listen to it again so I can understand certain parts of it. But he clarified this essence, this duality of, we have to recognize the importance of that separateness, but then of also not being separate. So there's this, we have to understand the give and take of that, or the interplay of both being different but one at the same time, and at different times, right? Where was I going with this? Confession. I confessed to him. He's okay with me sharing his name and sharing his contact information. In terms of his author's page, I didn't know he had an author's page. I didn't know he had a Facebook page. And then he has one. He has a Twitter even. And then there's a page just for the book. So he gave me permission, and he thanked me for asking. I figured, well, he's on Wikipedia, so he's big, bigger than me, and I needed to ask for permission. Yeah, I needed to ask for permission. My throat itches. So I'm going to include the link, his links, in the description box below. I never got to the point where I was going to ask him about this vision that I have of wanting to incorporate. Sorry for the noise, but that's my heater that I discovered was a heater. I didn't know it was a heater, so it's a little loud. But my temperature is really low, actually. It took my temperature and apparently it's low. Where was I going with this? Oh, I never got a chance to ask him about this vision that I have of incorporating birth chart into treatment. We didn't get to that part of the conversation because one thing led to another. And then I part of my confession was telling him about this YouTube channel and that I'm documenting because of what's been going on and how frequent I'm seeing the waves and needing to capture it all because it was just happening so quickly. And I was telling him, he asked me, he's another person that asked me, have you tried painting? And I'm like, I can't. It's so abstract. Like, I don't know how. I'm very concrete in how I draw. And he said, have you tried another medium? And I'm like, to paint the waves, not really. I mean, I don't think I've tried painting. Even though I've painted other stuff, I haven't tried painting. But then he suggested watercolor, and I said, I took a watercolor class. I took Jules' watercolor class. And I mentioned to him that I took one art watercolor class, and because he said, have you tried wet on wet? And I was just like, watercolors, I was like, I've heard of that term, but I don't remember it. So he introduced me to Waldorf watercolor, and it's a collection by Winning Chen. This is the closest that I have seen to my waves, and I was so grateful to him, because I was just like, I've been searching for my waves, or the closest thing, like anything related to my waves I've been searching for. And he said, when you were describing to me what you were saying, what you were seeing, this is what came to mind. I was so grateful, because it's the closest thing to watercolor, to not watercolor, but to the images that I see. Even the shadow. Should I show you guys? I'll try to include, I think that's what I'll do. I'll take snapshots and I'll include those images. But it's this beautiful watercolor technique, and there's shadows on their like profiles, and it's exactly how I would see it, like not the exact image, but the profile, like just the way this artist captures it, that's what I would see in some of these images. And yeah, so I was so grateful that he showed this to me, because this is the closest so far with the shadowing even of the waves. So it's wet on wet watercolor that creates this, and he encouraged me to try it, so I'm grateful that this person has crossed my path, and he knows it. I'm really grateful. So, yeah, I've included his links below, and his name is Gary Goff. I hope I pronounced his name right. If not, he'll correct me. But, yeah, check out his stuff, his work. It's really interesting, and I really liked his book. So, I don't know if I said the title of his book, Pause, Breathe, Smile. Yeah, PBS for short. So, thank you, Gary. And I hope you guys check it out. Till next time. Bye. My name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us, in whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth. This just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, you know, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and you know, we'll see what else comes next for me.